Hey everyone, how's it going? We've been sitting for a while, so why don't we take 30 seconds to stand up, stretch a little? Let's stretch. Don't want you to fall asleep. And then introduce yourself to the person next to you and say hello and say, let's network a little. We want to sit down? Here, sit here. First, I'm going to call out the secretary, Fiona Ma. She talked about ChatGPT and not Google Gemini. That hurt me a little bit. I was disappointed in that, but it's okay. We're going to do a little bit of a discussion. So we have our Connie, sorry. One quick disclaimer, these are our personal words. This is not from Google itself, because if we get quoted in the press, there will be repercussions. So I just want to make sure there's a disclaimer from myself and Connie. These are our personal views. And so I'm going to be interviewing her. So she's an engineer who actually works in AI and kind of understands how it works, even though no one really understands how it works. And she's going to demystify it for all of us. So I'm going to ask her. And so myself, I work on customer service. And the area I work on is how does the LLM or the AI get hands and legs? So what that means is right now when you talk to AI, it'll give you an answer. It'll give you a smart answer. It'll write a poem. It'll write a book. But what we want to do is like, hey, how can I increase can you tell the AI to be like, I want to increase my 401k from 5% to 6%? And will the AI do that for you? Or I want to pay this bill. And you tell your AI agent, can you pay this bill for me? And so what I'm working on is that, enabling it to do things for you, which may be good and may be scary, but that's kind of the work that I'm doing and what I'm leading. Connie, she leads all of the cloud work, so she works with a variety of customers in all of our industries, so she'll have a lot more insights. And she's also been working in this field for 20 years. Before this, she was at Microsoft for 10 years. And she's been at Google for the past few years. And she's also a lecturer at UCLA talking about AI and technology. So we're very lucky to have her here. And so she's going to get started, and I'm just going to ask her some questions. But first, she's going to try to demystify what is AI and try to define it for everyone. Go ahead.
So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I know I am between you and lunch. So I'm going to talk about AI, but I want to talk about from a fun perspective. And also, there is a couple of panelists earlier talk about the medicine, the green power. Then I want to also share that how AI actually going to do that, because I think there is a lot of great fear about AI. And so let's talk about it. So what is AI? So AI essentially is a data plus a pattern on top of compute. Then you will produce some result. So, okay, so I sound like a nerd. So let me say it this way. So data, think about you are cooking. Okay, data is your ingredient. The pattern is machine learning. You heard about people talk about machine learning, ChatGPT, Google generative AI. Those are machine learning model. Those are recipe when you cook. Okay, so those like your ingredients, data, your machine learning model is your recipe, but you need to have tool, right? You cannot just say, okay, I got a whole bunch of ingredients, and magically it will become food to me. So then you need to write on top of tools. And the tools you use greatly impact how fast you're going to cook your food. So if you use like an air fryer, you probably cook food very quickly. If you do the slow motion, it may take a couple of hours. So that is why there is a different company, different cloud company, they will talk about, oh, why is compute is very important, why you go with Google, why you do it this way. The reason being that it's impossible for a company to own that much compute. And also there is another side of compute we need to think about is sustainability. How green is your compute, right? Are you create a whole bunch of heat that you create global warming? So that is something to take into consideration when you think about AI. So I talk about data, pattern, the application of it, So the application of AI is that you're actually using it at this moment. All of you are like chatting, Google searching, or doing that. That is AI. There is something in the internet or somewhere in the sky that is routing your message, encrypting your message, so it can go to the other end. So the application of AI, including that vision. So a lot of you have smartphone that you like to make you look better. You know, take out the wrinkle on your face, make you look skinnier. So that is AI. So a lot of people talking about, oh, I'm afraid of AI, am I going to take your world? No, you are using AI today. You just you just didn't know. So that is an application of it. Another application of it is translation and speech. Actually, I think this is a very beneficial for an AI feature. Earlier this year, Google has, we have a conference. And in the conference, we have all the employees from all over the world. But the keynote speaker is an English speaker. So she delivered her keynote in English. But simultaneously, we have projection TV simultaneously translating the speaking into the native language of our employee. So the thinking about the application of how you think about AI. So we talk about food, ingredient, data, plus pattern, recipe, compute. Then you're going to apply that. So to me, is that the way we think about AI is that we are using AI at a daily basis. The thing to think about AI is that how do we make AI better? How do we put guardrail about the application of AI so it will not be harmful to human being? Right, so a lot of, like Google has our responsible AI principle. So foundationally, we put into the practice of AI, say it should not pursue harmful behavior. It should not pursue harm. So that is very critical. And I get some statistic from Stanford, the AI index study. They say we have increased regulation in 2023 to increase by, like before, in like beginning, probably a decade ago, we only have one AI regulation. But as for 2022, we have 26 regulation. So that is pretty good, very exciting, right? So as we get mature into the AI era, we want to come along with AI, but also put it regulation around it, so make it not harmful for human race. So, so it's like very much like when you use your appliances, there's regulations say you should not plug these. If you have like 110, you should not plug into 220. So that kind of regulation is what we are looking for. I want to come back to data. Okay, so we talk about data patterns, so there is a whole bunch of pattern machine learning happening. United States is still the best company not company. United States is still the best country to invest into machine learning model because it produced the largest amount of machine learning model last year. So we have the data, then we have model, then we have application. So let me come back to data because I'm really happy that Fiona, she just mentioned right earlier, talk about why California. Because California is very diversified, right? Then we have diversified, then we have a lot of talent here, and we have can-do attitude. So why diversified is very important in data in in the AI era, because if the data is skewed, your machine learning prediction will be skewed. It's just like if you put, say, imagine you guys are drinking water. So if the water, I put some color into it, like I put a full color, pink color to it, what will happen if you do not add other color of water, it will stay pink. So that's exactly why diversify is very important to the AI development. And that's why I think California is in a very good state to have a lot of AI development, because the culture is very diversified here. We have people coming from all kind of background, all kind of age, all kind of education background. So that will enrich that whole AI development. So, yeah. So, Adam has a question.
So I wanted to ask a question as well. Thank you for that. So there's a lot of hype around AI, like, so AI is going to change this or it's changing that. So interesting about Connie, she works with all of our clients. So she works with all the enterprises that use Google. So from your perspective there, like from the clients and the industries that you serve, how are people actually using AI and how are they actually benefiting from it, or is it just a hype cycle?
Well, I would say it's a cautious perceive forward. Okay, it is a real thing. Okay, there is customer that the project I'm working on, AIs come alongside with your productivity. That is the highest, the most common use case. Productivity, like, okay, instead of having people do like customer service, I know you hate to talk to an AI, but if you make the AI smarter, you will like to talk to the AI. So customer services is a very common use case. Also, a lot of legal customer, say all like citizen compliances. Imagine that in the past, if you want to discover information and you have like 10 boxes, banker box of documents to read through, how long is it going to take? Maybe 2 weeks? But if you're using AI, that kind of capability, you can get all the document and like Google generative AI, it can provide summary to you. So imagine you can quickly arrive at your goal very quickly. Same thing, we just have a doctor talk about the trial, right? We just came out from a pandemic. Imagine if it take us 4 years, 5 years to come out with a vaccine. Imagine how much people are going to die from COVID. If we do not have the supercomputer, we do not have the AI advancement. So use it properly can be very helpful.
Cool. The other question I wanted to have is like, so if someone here coming from different countries, different funds, different sectors, like how do they get started with it?
Fiona. So there's a lot of AI enablement classes. Okay, so just for Google, we just release a whole bunch of classes for free. And if you are very interested, I am actually hosting a 4-part series on data to AI at Google Office in Irvine. So you are welcome to do that or to sign up. So to get started is have the curiosity, right? So curiosity, sometimes when we see a stranger, we are afraid of them or something strange. But if you understand that where they come from, how do I use it, actually will disarm you to understand how it is. So first of all, have the curiosity. Secondly, reach out to all these free classes, then you can join and you can sign up. Then have question the classes. I also always encourage my students to question what I'm saying, because the reason you question what I'm saying is the same thing how machine learning learn. So machine learning go take data, it go to machine learning, and it formulates some opinion. But the opinion need to be make some judgment on it. That's where human being come from. Like, okay, well, I thought sky is always blue. Maybe that's not the case. But if all your data feed to your computer or the machine learning model says sky is blue, the machine learning doesn't know that sky can be dark or navy blue at nighttime. So that is why have your curiosity, go take the classes, or reach out to people who know AI and have a very, interesting and fun conversation about it and feedback the loop. And that will make AI better.
What scares you about AI?
What scares me about AI, actually, okay, bad programmer. I am a software developer for over a couple of decades. So it's like if a person doesn't have the awareness and they program something bad into the system, that can be bad. Another thing is, and that's where the regulation and governance coming from. So all the, like in Google, we have something called responsible AI. We have the policy. And also generative AI, the one you think about ChatGPT and all that, the reason they call generative AI is they take your conversation and they generate some thought or some output for you. So something very critical that we are building at Google is that we use generative AI to assist the coding. So what that means is that if the programmer go haywire, go bizarre or something about it, when we do the code checking into the system, you could have regulation, safeguard against it. So then that will help to make it better. So to me, it's like the human factor, the person creating the program, and regulation probably will make it much better.
Yeah. You want to take some questions? Yeah. So we would like to just open it up for some questions, and I will have the right to refuse if we feel like the question is not a good question. So just giving you that warning.
Just a quick question. Where you mentioned AI classes, where would we go for those AI classes? Online, on campus?
So online classes, if you do Google search, there's a whole bunch of free classes. If you have, say, for example, you work in a company, if you work with Google, you have a representative, there are classes you can take for free. I also co-created a class in Coursera. So Coursera have a whole bunch of free classes. And so we launched the data and AI classes in April this year, and those are free. And just so you know, when you first take it, you will feel like you are a different planet. That's normal, okay? Because that's how I learned AI, like, okay, people talking bizarre, but I will keep going. The can-do attitude that Fiona referred to. Go ahead.
Thanks for your presentation. You mentioned, you gave an example of how, as you guys were having a presentation, you had a simultaneous live translation. Google Translate is the butt of a lot of jokes, of course, but having said that, I'm just curious, how many languages could an AI simultaneously translate with the technology that you have now?
So the simultaneously depends on the compute power. Okay, so if we have a lot of computers simultaneously, the text is going to, the speech going into the translator, and you can simultaneously split out many, many of them. So I do not have a benchmark like how many of them, but in that event, we have 3. So maybe we just pick 3. It's not because the limitation is 3. It's just we pick 3. And imagine the translation power, because most of us are afraid of somebody who doesn't speak our languages because we don't understand. But if we can understand, that will, nurture the collaboration. Right? Collaboration is great, and then we can continue to move forward.
Hi, Connie. Hi, Adam. I have a question. You work with large enterprises. What do you recommend for early stage startups, growth stage, and then as we go to scale, how we can implement AI? Most of us are already AI companies, but where else can we be putting that, and how can we be using it? Thank you.
So you want to say, like, which area we think about AI going to go? Yes. Yeah, okay.
Besides just being an AI company, like where else can smaller enterprises start using it? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of areas I think very interesting based on my experience with the customer. So I see a lot of companies going to do marketing with their AI technology. So a lot of people, so since this is investment form, so just know most of you are sitting at gold mine. And what's your gold mine is your data. So there is this huge notion that coming about, there is something called data clean room. So what essentially data clean room is, I have some data, you have some data, but I want to create opportunity to create a data product. So data product essentially is saying that I have some data, you have some data. Maybe we marry our data, you will make everything better, right? I know the address, you know the phone number, we can go find the person. So, but security is very critical around clean room, because I don't want to give out my secret sauce, nor you want to give out that. So data clean room is something very, because in the past 2 years, I have like at least 3 different companies want to do that. So I'm in the process to do that. Another one is marketing segmentation. So say, for example, all of you actually sell something, right? Either you are selling your services, selling a product, selling your technology or some sort. So how do you know who to target? How to target them? Like, we have whole generation of people, they have different value system. So that is something very critical. I see a lot of people do that. Another thing I think is going to catch on is the AI assist robotic or like patient care. So the thing about it is that we have more and more people will enter into the we will have more older people than younger people in the future. So we just ran out of people to take care of like elder and senior person and make sure they don't fall or they take their medicine properly. So AI can help that. So I hope that answers your question.
First of all, Adam and Connie, thanks for coming and supporting California Investment Forum. It's the first year. I had a question. As an investor, I mean, you look at AI, and you want to compare different AIs, you know, Gemini, ChatGPT. I mean, it's just so many different versions and variations. What do you look for? What are some of the criteria that investors would look for from risk standpoint, rewards?
So one of the things is, to models like ChatGPT, Gemini, they're just going to become commoditized. They'll just be available. And so what's important is like what the company's doing on top of the models, right? So the models are just going to be like, you have the internet, there's just search, like all the data is available. So will those models. But it's like what unique, it's just like any business you invest in. So like they're using the model to generate, or they're using it to power their application. So what problem are they solving? Are they solving a niche medical problem, a niche shopping experience, a niche energy experience? So like, are they actually able to solve a problem? So like, when you think of like a database, right? It's just like how all software has a database. So now the database will be these AI models. So it's just what are you building on top of it, and what problem are you solving? And it should be niche enough. If it's general enough, then the model can solve it on its own, and your business may not need to exist. So that's one thing. The other one is like compute. So Connie talks a lot about compute. So AI requires a lot of energy. And if you look at Microsoft just made a $10 billion energy investment. OpenAI has made a large energy investments. Google's investing a lot in energy. That's because they know for their AI to take off and to be relevant day to day, they're going to need a lot more energy than that's available today. So there's a lot of energy trends here. So like, I would also see if you're looking at AI, like how does that relate to energy and like that conflation? Because there's a lot of need for energy, and a lot of these bigger AI infrastructure companies are going to need energy, and where's that going to come from? So that's going to be a big problem that's going to need to get solved as well.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. So my question is about deployment based on a personal experience. So I was trying to use a vendor, and I went through this process that it transferred me to their artificial intelligence that couldn't quite understand what was going on. Through this process, the vendor said, yes, this transaction has been approved. And then I called my bank, and the bank said, yes, this transaction has been approved. And then I finally talked to somebody in the customer service department at the vendor who said, well, we have this barrier, we have this wall that checks everything, and it didn't go through that process of artificial intelligence approval, and so there is no transaction. So the question I have is, how can it be controlled that deployment of these mechanisms, if it's done too early, it creates chaos?
Yeah, so the deployment of anything can create chaos. So it's not necessary for machine learning and that. So like I was actually talking about earlier about regulation and control. So one aspect of AI that is very good, and as a software person, I develop program, right? Write program, is automated test. So the scenario you just giving, apparently there is a gap. Something went through, but it did not get tested properly. So it got deployed, and you suffer from that instant. So AI not just going to create stuff, AI going to prevent stuff. So other thing I also want to mention, AI is very helpful to help you prevent hacker, ransomware. Why? Because you can outrun the people try to hack you. It's going to be like who has, who can run faster, and then that's why the gentleman say which company to invest in. You want to invest in a company that have enough compute power, because hackers are going to use compute to do that. But if they have no access to the compute, they could not outrun you. So the computing security, the cyber security game, is not about you not going to get hacked. It's like, can you outrun your hacker? And so thank you for raising that question, because that gives an illustration about AI can help you secure your practice, and better deployment for testing will help you suffer less from this kind of deployment. I hope that helped.
Thank you, Adam and Connie, for coming today. I've learned a lot about AI. My name is Julia. My background, I'm working on help the small business owners on the recruiting service. Also, we provide HR consultation. I want to ask you, a lot of people worry about, firstly, I think like Google is kind of top tier company, how much AI they use, try to using on their hiring process. On the other side, a lot of people, they worry about so many jobs going to be covered by AI. So do you think what's like the trends for AI on considered effect on the employment in the future? Thank you.
Okay. About how much money Google spend on AI, I cannot comment that, because that's confidential information. We cannot comment that. Yeah. They don't tell us those things. Yeah, it's above my rank. Another thing, I get this question all the time. AI going to replace everybody's job? No. Did you remember you received a paper mail long time ago? The email replace your paper mail? You still need paper to sign, right? So what AI going to do is forcing people to reskill. Okay, so that is what's happening. So if people don't want to reskill, your job maybe got replaced because you are not growing. So that's why the people ask me, how do you get into AI? Be curious, be hungry to learn about it. So yeah, maybe there's job got replaced, but if people reskill, they can get into it. So.
I think we should go eat.
Can I ask?